Welcome, race fans, to another edition of Dirt Track Racing here on home video cassette tape. I'm Johnny Strasser, up here on top of the tower at the Hagerstown Speedway, and joining me for this afternoon's Stanley Sheetroff Memorial here at Hagerstown, Ken Stahl.
Well, we certainly got a beautiful day here at the Hagerstown Speedway, and right now the first heat for the late models is on the Speedway. A fine field of cars, a lot of invaders here to do battle in the big 75-lap championship test here this afternoon.
Well, I believe we have around 40 cars on hand here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 40 late models. We have about 20 limited late models, and we have about 20 Roadrunners. So a lot of cars in the pit area. The people have kind of arrived late this afternoon here at Hagerstown. We were here about 2 hours, and I know, Ken, you did some interviews down in the pits. Before we get the green flag in today's first qualifying heat race for the Stanley Sheetroff Memorial, we'll switch it down to the pit area. This was videotaped with Ken Stahl a little earlier.
Right now we're standing here with Denny Chamberlain on this beautiful Sunday afternoon at the Hagerstown Speedway as we get set for the Stanley Sheetroff Memorial. And first, Denny, it's always good to see you in here at Hagerstown.
Yeah, it's real nice to be here. It's a real super track, you know, probably about the best track on the East Coast here, and you know, so we just always like to come up here and run.
I guess you probably make it in here maybe about 10 times a year?
Yeah, we can always come as much as we can. Just sometimes we got to run down on the local tracks, but whenever we can come up here, we always like to come.
Would you consider yourself a full-time racer?
Yeah, really we do. You know, this year we're going to run the WRC house car for Rodney Combs, and yeah, we're just looking for a good year this year.
What's Rodney up to these days? I know in the past years you two seem to travel together. I guess he's moved on now.
Yeah, he's going to run some of the Winston Cup cars. You know, he's signed a contract here this year to run, but also we're building a dirt car right now, and he's going to be running it whenever he can. It's hard to say how much time he'll have, but you know, as long as he can run on dirt, he said he'll run too.
Of course, you're always a threat when you're on hand here, and of course Hagerstown's got the big Super Series this year, which is something for the drivers to look forward to.
Yeah, it is. You know, really, it seems like it's going to be a really good setup here, and we're going to try to make all of them if we can, if everything's possible and goes right. So, you know, we'll just have to run today and see what happens here.
Of course, this 75-lap test today should really be a test because 75 laps on an afternoon track, things should get dry and dusty by the end.
Yeah, from the looks of the track right now, it's going to be really slick. I think it's going to be smooth, but it's going to be, you know, it's going to glaze off and kind of get slick, and I think it's going to be whoever picks the right tires, you know, probably end up with a win in the race here.
Trick will probably be to be quick at the end. It's a long race, 75 laps. You'll have a lot of time to get to the front.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, I don't think it's going to matter really where you start at here today. It's just, you know, getting the right compound on the tires and springs and, you know, just staying out of trouble for the whole 75 laps. If you can stay without getting lapped, you know, till the refuel here, then I think you'll be in pretty good shape.
Of course, you were here last Sunday afternoon. Were you happy with the car?
Yeah, I was real happy with it. We broke a fuel pump belt. The car seemed to be running, you know, really good first time we had it here. But, you know, the fuel pump belt broke and just, you know, left us short here with about 10 laps to go.
Okay, Denny, again, we want to wish you the best of luck here this afternoon. Again, it's great to have you in here, and good luck in the big race today.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Right now we're standing here with Les Hare, one of the regulars in the late model division here at the Hagerstown Speedway. And Les, I guess this is your second year now in the Candyman car.
Yeah, I started late last season, and they got a new car last winter and a new Baker engine. We're kind of fooling with the car, try to learn how it's working, you know, but we'll get it figured out.
Of course, a top 10 finish here last Sunday afternoon, so things are going pretty decent.
Yeah, our scales were a little messed up at home. We went and borrowed another set, and I think that was a big part of it. We had the car was a little messed up. We worked on it last week, run last night at Winchester and finished second. I think we're on the right track now. I'm looking for a pretty good day today.
Who are some of the people behind this car?
Bob Hines is the owner from Catonsville, Maryland. He puts mostly all the money in it and a lot of work. The man really works hard. And mechanic Huey, he's from Baltimore also. And just a couple friends and myself, we're mainly making up the crew. We're trying to get organized and everything with a new team like this. But things are looking pretty good.
Of course, last year you also ran some limited late models. Any limited late models for 1987?
No, my brother has that car now. He's going to run it himself this year here, one night a week.
Okay, well, of course, today a big 75-lap test. I see a lot of invaders here. Competition's going to be tough.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good race today. I try not to let them bother me.
Yeah, you just go out and do your thing and see what happens.
Yeah, I like running long races.
Okay, we want to wish you the best of luck today, Les.
Thank you.
Okay, right now we're standing here with Larry Moore. And Larry, it's great to have you in here again this beautiful Sunday afternoon here at the Hagerstown Speedway.
Sure glad to be here.
Of course, I understand you're a former winner of the Big Stanley Sheetrock Memorial.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to win it, might have been 3 years ago, I guess. The only race I've ever won here, so I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah, 1984, a big win for you here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Of course, this is the first race in the big Super Series, and sounds like a great thing going on here at Hagerstown for 1987.
Well, yeah, it sounds like a real good deal, so I didn't want to miss the first one. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, more or less depends on how you make out. If you win the first one, you've almost got to come back later on.
Yeah, that's the way it always works.
With that bonus money up on the line. I guess you do a lot of traveling all over the country?
Yeah, I like to travel. I like to run at different tracks. I don't run at any one track more than 2 or 3 times a year. I might have to run 4 or 5 this year here.
Well, let's hope you do well here this afternoon. I see back here on the trailer you got Volusia County Speedway. How are they involved with your car here?
Well, Dick Murphy owns Volusia County Speedway, and I raced for him, with him, for a number of years. And now Dick Murphy and Bobby Kay and I have this race car chassis from Anderson, South Carolina. So that's the truck that we used to have, and he owns Volusia County Speedway in Florida, and he runs it. So we're sponsoring for him a little bit, Volusia County Speedway. We only get there in February.
And you were down there racing this winter?
Yes, yeah.
And it's pretty tough down there in wintertime, I understand.
Yeah, just about as tough as it is to race here.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough place, and we got a lot of top-notch cars here today. 75-lap race, though, a lot of things can happen.
Oh, yeah. It's just, this is about the toughest competition as far as local guys. I'd say it is the toughest competition of the local guys that anywhere I race at.
I would think by the end of that 75-lap test today, things will probably be pretty dry and slick out there.
Well, that's the way it always gets on Sunday afternoon. It always gets pretty dry and slick.
Okay, Larry, we want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us and wish you good luck today.
Oh, thank you.
Now we're sitting here with John Mason. John, another one of the invaders here at the Hagerstown Speedway this afternoon for the big Stanley Sheetrock Memorial. It's good to see you in here, John.
Well, thank you. I love to come here, and it's one of my favorite tracks, and I always enjoy coming over here, especially when the weather's this nice.
Certainly is beautiful here this afternoon, a delightful day, and 75 laps of racing to do.
Yeah, I like the 75-lap format. The longer races seem to suit me better.
Of course, Hagerstown Speedway has always got a lot of tough competition, and we got that again here today.
Definitely. I think Hagerstown is one of the hardest places there is to come in and win a race at.
You probably make it in here maybe 5-6 times a year. Always seem to do well.
Yeah, we've had exceptional luck here at Hagerstown, and like I say, we enjoy racing here, and we work at it pretty hard.
Of course, you do travel all over the country. Would you consider yourself a full-time racer?
Well, I'd like to consider myself, but we've still got another job to keep up at home.
It keeps you busy moving around the country. Of course, we got this Super Series going on here at Hagerstown for 1987. That certainly got interest, a guy that is in it for racing professionally anyhow.
Oh, definitely. Anytime you get a bonus of that caliber, why, it draws a lot of interest, and there'll be me and several other people looking at it this year.
Yeah, we definitely have some talented drivers here today, and with the 75-lap distance, I guess it's not really where you start. It's a long race. Anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely, that's right, and especially at Hagerstown, it's enough of a racetrack that your starting position is not going to be that critical here. It's going to be who's the fastest at the end.
75 laps, you figure the track will probably glaze up by the end. Tire wear will certainly be important.
Yeah, I'm sure tires are going to be a big factor today, the wear and the adhesion of them.
Okay, John, again, we want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us, relaxing here as we get ready for warm-ups. Track that, I see they just put some lime on. That'll probably hold the dust down, though.
Yeah, I hope so. That does get a little dusty here once in a while, but I don't think it'll have that trouble today.
Okay, again, thanks for talking to us, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Those were some of the interviews taped a little bit earlier. We have some major radio interference here this afternoon. Hopefully that will not continue to happen. But we're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway, and the cars lined up behind the beautiful Hagerstown pace car. We should be looking for a green next lap, Cam.
Right now we've got the field on the speedway and taking a look at the starting lineup. On the pole in the 1B is Frank Fleming. Outside the front row in the 00, Booper Bear.
Second row inside, that third starting spot will be the number 40 of Tom Peck, and alongside him in the number 00, Making a long trip in here this afternoon, Freddie Smith.
Row 3 inside, 5th starting spot goes to the 34 of Rick Workman, and starting 6 on the outside of that 3rd row in the 33, Rodney Franklin.
Starting in that 7th spot, 4th row inside, and the number 0 will be Rick Eckert, and alongside him, the number 3 will be Jeff Robinson.
Your final row, the 5th row inside, 9th starting spot in car 15 will be Doug Devil Bliss, and making up the field in the 134 this afternoon, Dave Hoffman. Dave Hoffman getting a 1 added on to the front of the 34. Rick Workman with the 34, so Dave Hoffman becomes the 134 for competition here this afternoon. Right there, you've seen that white line on the Speedway again this afternoon. That is the point where all races will be started. The races will start with that white line up there in turn number 3. You're right between 3 and 4. The field is set. We're ready to go racing here this afternoon at Hagerstown.
And we'll be right back with the waving of the green flag.
Last weekend was the first for the
We're back in here at the beautiful Hagerstown Speedway. We've got the first heat on the Speedway right now, and we'll be taking 5 qualifiers out of this 10-car heat race camp.
Right now, the pace car, the Massey Ford pace car, is off the Speedway. The field will come off turn 4, and we'll look for a green.
Down the front stretch, it's anybody's race as they head into turn number 1. Tom Peck with the lead, but we got trouble right here off turn 4.
That looks like Booper Bear, who started outside front row in the 00. Booper with some problems here on this start, and right now he's got the 00 drifting down to the inside of the Speedway. In fact, he's going the wrong way right now. Booper going to straighten that car out, and we'll realign him with a complete restart.
Okay, we're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway as the cars streak down the backstretch now. Tom Peck, your leader, as they head into turn number 3.
This is lap number 1 of the first heat of the afternoon, and Tom Peck has got the P&W excavating number 40 at the point. Here's Peck for lap number 1.
Tom Peck, your leader, as they head down the front stretch and into turns 1 and 2 now. We're keeping an eye on that 00, Ken, of Freddie Smith, as he moves into position now. Down the backstretch on Tom Peck, your leader.
Freddie Smith, one of the invaders in here this afternoon at the Hagerstown Speedway, as we got a real breeze up here on top of the judges stand right now, sort of playing havoc with us, blowing a lot of things around. We'll try and hang in there as Tom Peck continues to lead. Freddie Smith has closed right up in that 2nd spot. Rick Workman runs 3rd in the 34 car. Right behind him is Rodney Franklin on the move into 33, but Tom Peck will lead the field as they head into turn number 3 and 4.
Here they come now, off turn number 4. Peck, your leader, followed by the number 00, Freddie Smith. Workman runs 3rd. Franklin in the 33 runs in that 4th spot.
We got a real battle shaping up for that number 1 spot right now between Tom Peck and Freddie Smith as they head down that backstretch. Peck continuing to lead by about 3 car lengths. Here comes Freddie once again coming right up on the back bumper of Peck as they move through turns 3 and 4. Peck will lead him off turn 4.
Well, this track is already beginning to dry out just a bit, Ken, and we've only got the first heat race on the Speedway. I'd say she's going to be completely black till we get down here this afternoon.
Well, this is really a tough job for the track crew here today with this wind blowing and the sun shining bright. Tough day to keep a track in good shape, and right now we've got a great race off turn number 4. Peck with Freddie Smith as we get the halfway sign.
Tom Peck with a lot of pressure on him right now by Freddie Smith as they come off turn number 2. Smith takes a look on the inside, but Peck maintains the lead as they head down the backstretch into turn 3.
Smith, one of the invaders, a real veteran of late model racing who travels all over the country right now, has got Peck in his sights. He again drops to the inside, but Tom's up to the challenge as he continues to lead as we complete lap number 6.
Through turns 1 and 2, the chase is on between Tom Peck and Freddie Smith. Rodney Franklin has moved into that 3rd spot ahead of Rick Workman now. Running in that 5th position is the number 1, Frank Fleming. Fleming all the way in here. Well, this track is already beginning to dry out just a bit, Ken, and we've only got the first heat race on the Speedway. I'd say she's going to be completely black till we get down here this afternoon.
Well, this is really a tough job for the track crew here today with this wind blowing and the sun shining bright. Tough day to keep a track in good shape, and right now we've got a great race off turn number 4. Peck with Freddie Smith as we get the halfway sign.
Tom Peck with a lot of pressure on him right now by Freddie Smith as they come off turn number 2. Smith takes a look on the inside, but Peck maintains the lead as they head down the backstretch into turn 3.
Smith, one of the invaders, a real veteran of late model racing who travels all over the country right now, has got Peck in his sights. He again drops to the inside, but Tom's up to the challenge as he continues to lead as we complete lap number 6.
Through turns 1 and 2, the chase is on between Tom Peck and Freddie Smith. Rodney Franklin has moved into that 3rd spot ahead of Rick Workman now. Running in that 5th position is the number 1, Frank Fleming. Fleming all the way in here, has quite a distance to travel.
Right now, lap 7 being completed on your leaders, Tom Peck, and of course the 00 of Freddie Smith still right there. Smith has been looking for that opening ever since the drop of the green. Hasn't been able to find one, and Tom Peck continues to hold him off. Rodney Franklin has now advanced to 3rd. He's trying to close on your leaders. This will be the 2-lap sign this time around on Peck and Smith.
2 more laps to go on your leader, Tom Peck. Can he hold off the invading Freddie Smith in the 00 car?
Right now, it's been Freddie Smith trying the inside of Tom Peck each time around the speedway. Peck, with the groove, though, has been able to hang on. We'll look for a white flag this time around. Once again, 5 cars to qualify for this afternoon's big 75-lap feature event. Here's the white with 1 to go on Tom Peck.
Tom Peck continues to lead Freddie Smith in the 00 through turns 1 and 2. Rodney Franklin really hasn't advanced very much on your 2 leaders, Peck and Smith.
Once again, 5 to qualify, and right now Frank Fleming's got that final qualifying spot. The battle, though, is for the number 1 spot off of turn number 4. Peck has been on the point since the drop of the green, and he's going to win it.
Tom Peck will go away your winner. Freddie Smith will take 2nd, followed by Rodney Franklin in the 33. Then it's Rick Workman in the 34, followed by the number 1 car, Frank Fleming. Following Fleming is the 3 of Jeff Robinson, followed by Rick Eckert in the 0. Then it's a 00 of Booper Bear. And rounding out the field is the number 15, I believe, of Doug Devilbliss. So that is your official finish of heat race number 1. They'll be taking the top 5. They will advance into today's Stanley Sheetroff Memorial. We'll be moving to heat race number 2 for the late model division when we return. Okay, we're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway for heat race number 2. Starting on the pole in the number 5 will be Denny Bonebreak, and alongside him, the number 79 will be Paul Crowell.
2nd row inside, starting 3rd in car number 19X will be Dale Baitler, and starting 4th in the 88, Jeff Smith.
Making up the 3rd row inside in that 5th starting position will be the number 19 of Bobby Croup, and alongside him, make that the number 198, and alongside him will be the number 17 of Bobby Litton.
Row 4 inside, 7th starting spot in the 75 will be David Hill, and starting 8th on the outside of row 4 in car number 98, Will Rao.
And rounding out the field in the number 31, back in here from Lost Creek, Virginia, will be Denny Chamberlain. So those are your 9 starters, 10 laps of distance. Again, 5 will qualify. Well, we watch the field down in turns number 1 and 2 right now, and we have a car, the number 17 of Bobby Litton, coming out a little bit late. He'll fall in on the field, and we should be looking for a green flag off turn number 4.
Well, right now, Denny Bonebreak on the point. Again, the cars drew pills here this afternoon for starting spots in the heat races. Denny Bonebreak drawing one of the low numbers, getting that front row starting spot. Joining him, Paul Crowell in car number 79 in that front row. So Bonebreak certainly has to be a threat in this one.
We'll have to see how it pans out here. They got a really big field of cars on hand here today for the Stanley Sheetroff Memorial. $3,500 going to the winner of this event today, Ken.
And of course, this is the first race of the Super Series. 5 races altogether with bonus money going to the winner of each race. If you can sweep them all, there's a lot of money there, $25,000. That's a tough challenge, though, for anybody to do.
Certainly is, but you never know. Anything can happen. It looks like they're going to go another lap around here, and we'll be back with the waving of the green flag in this 2nd qualifying heat race. Okay, we're back in here for this 2nd qualifying heat race for today's Stanley Sheetroff Memorial. Starter Ross Gordon checking the field very closely as they come off turn number 4. He has now waved the green flag, and we're underway.
Denny Bonebreak will jump into the early lead in that car number 5. He'll take him down into turn number 1 and 2. Paul Crowell right now runs 2nd. The rest of the spots are still up in the air as Bonebreak takes him down the backstretch.
A little bit of bumper tag going on in the back of the pack as they head down into turn number 3. Bonebreak, your leader, in the stop number 5 as they come off turn 4.
Jeff Smith in that 88 car right now on the move. He's up to 4th. He's behind Dale Beitler in the 19 who is running 3rd. Back in the pack, Bobby Croup also trying to move up along with Denny Chamberlain. But Bonebreak, who started on the pole, still has things under control.
Bonebreak, your leader in the number 5, running in that second spot. It's the number 79, Paul Crowell. Crowell with a lot of pressure on now as he comes off turn number 4, and here comes Jeff Smith. Smith is actually moving in on your second and third place cars, Ken.
The battle right.
You're getting a good shot of Denny Bonebreak as he works his way through turns 1 and 2 now. We've got a good battle here for third as Jeff Smith has now moved up into that third position. He'll set his sights on the number 19 of Beitler.
Smith getting around Crowell for that third spot, and right now he's putting the pressure on Beitler through turns number 3 and 4. Bonebreak is way out in front of this heat race, though.
Denny Bonebreak will easily pick up the win, provided he doesn't have any car problems. He's got a good lead now over your battle for second, which we're watching on our screen as they come off turn number 2. You know, Jeff Smith must have went home and did some thinking and came back here with maybe some solutions to last week's problems, Ken.
Well, Jeff just made a nice move to the inside of Beitler, and Beitler again got up there in the loose stuff and lost a lot of ground. So Jeff easily moves into second. Now Beitler back to third. Paul Crowell runs fourth. Your final qualifier on this field, which is really spread out around the speedway, is Bobby Croup in the 98. Right now we're getting a good look at your leader off turn number 4. That's Denny Bonebreak.
Bonebreak with a sizable lead over your second place man now, Jeff Smith out of Blaine, Pennsylvania. Jeff was here last week and barely made the show, only to go to the scales and find out that he wasn't going to make it. His tires were too big. I talked to them earlier, Ken. They got the right tires on there today.
They came to race here this afternoon, no doubt about it. 2-lap sign this time. Here comes Denny off turn number 4, still with things completely under control in the Stout Brothers number 5.
Well, I don't think it would pay Jeff Smith to really run the car hard trying to catch Bonebreak with the kind of lead he has. Jeff Smith setting in a qualifying position, Ken.
Once again, 5 of them qualified. Bonebreak, who's had some early season problems with the number 5, apparently has got them all ironed out here this afternoon. Very impressive as he gets the white flag. He's 1 lap from victory in Heat 2.
Jeff Smith now comes off turn number 4 and crosses the finish line. He'll take that second spot, followed by the 19 of Beitler, the 79 of Paul Crowell.
So Denny Bonebreak right now works his way through turn number 3, out of turn number 4, picking up the win in Heat 2 in the 5, Denny Bonebreak.
I guess I was off a lap there, Ken. I thought the last lap was the checkered flag. I can't see the starter from where I'm located. Jeff Smith will take that second spot, followed by the 19 of Beitler. And it's the 79 of Crowell, followed by Bob Croup in the number 98. And our final qualifier coming across for right now will be the 31 of Denny Chamberlain.
So a lot of action back in the pack. A real close finish there between Chamberlain and Hill. But your winner, there was no questions there. Denny Bonebreak just really ran away from Heat 2. We'll have Heat 3 in just a moment.
Okay, we're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway. I'll go down over the lineup quickly. We've got Don Lutz, Charlie Werman, Les Hare, Larry Moore, Al Shulver, Gary Stuhler, Charlie Schaefer, Alan Seige, and Dale Kerstetter. Off turn number 4, green flag waves in his third heat race.
Well, Don Lutz has got the 75. He drew pills here this afternoon, and he was fortunate enough to start right up front. And right now he's got Charlie Weirman all over him off that second turn. Lutz a little out of shape, losing ground quickly in the 75.
Everybody storms into turn number 3. Let's see how they come off turn 4. Somebody up high in the loose stuff. He brings it back down. Our leader is going to be the number 55. Checking the number here.
That's actually Charlie Weirman, John, in the 65 at the point. Weirman, a veteran of many years of racing competition, a good dry track driver throughout the years, and right now he's working on the lead of this field. Gary Stuhler, who we saw win here last Sunday, on the move. He's now up to third, but he's got right in front of him the 14 of Larry Moore.
Larry Moore making it in here to Hagerstown. He's in a hot battle now with Stuhler as they head into turn number 1. Charlie Weirman takes him through turns 1 and 2, and you're right, Ken. Weirman is a seasoned veteran on these hard, dry racing surfaces.
In fact, Charlie also ran some asphalt in the past, but right now he's working here this afternoon at Hagerstown. Larry Moore, a former winner of this Stanley Sheetroff Memorial race, right now runs second, but Gary Stuhler has the outside line, and he now takes over second.
Les Hare rides along in that 4th spot as they head through turns 1 and 2 now. Al Shulver in the number 66 runs in that 5th spot, and he's going to get some pressure from the number 75 of Don Lutz.
Right now, Gary Stuhler setting his sights on your leader, Charlie Weirman. Charlie with a fresh paint job on the 65 here this afternoon. He looks good. We got a car up against the wall in turn number 4. That's the 6 car of Dale Kerstetter. Right there you see Dale as he just sort of backed it up against the outside retaining wall.
So, tough break for Dale Kerstetter, and we'll be back with the restart. We're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway for the restart in this third qualifying heat race. We've got Charlie Weirman on the point. Right behind him, we've got the 44 of Gary Stuhler. And it's Larry Moore in the number 14, followed by, I believe it's the number 95 of Les Hare.
Well, right now the green flag back on the field, and a little bit of bumping there between your two leaders as they went into turn number 1. And Charlie Weirman continues to show the way on down that backstretch. Gary Stuhler in the Speedy Hayes, number 44, up into the runner-up spot, setting his sights on Weirman with Moore working down on the inside also. We've got 3 cars battling for the lead.
Here comes Charlie Weirman hanging on for dear life as they head into turn number 1 now. He's got the number 44 of Gary Stuhler all over him. Not too far back is Larry Moore in the 14, followed by Les Hare in the number 95.
Les Hare doing a fine job here in this third heat for the late models right now, but up at the front, it's the veteran Charlie Weirman continuing to show the way. Here comes Stuhler now to the inside.
Stuhler now putting on a serious challenge on Weirman as they come by the flag stand and into turn number 1. Charlie Weirman really hanging tough here today, Ken.
Weirman getting one of his best rides here at Hagerstown right now, continuing to lead. Stuhler's going to really pose a threat up here in turns 3 and 4 this time as he again will drop to the inside of Weirman, who's way up high in the 65.
Here they come now off turn number 4. They're side by side as they come to the flag stand. It's still going to be Charlie Weirman as they head into turn number 1.
Weirman has enough horsepower with that outside line to hang on to the lead each time Stuhler drops to the inside. Right now, Les Hare is advanced, and he's challenging for that third spot against the 14 of Moore. Up front, still Weirman with Stuhler as they work through 3 and 4.
Charlie Weirman with the 44 of Gary Stuhler all over him now as they come off turn 4. 2 laps. We're watching them as they head into turn number 1 and 2 now in the middle of the pack right now with Les Hare and Shulver in the number 66 as they head down the front stretch. Your leader is still Charlie Weirman.
Weirman doing a great job. Gary Stuhler has been challenging the whole way. He hasn't been able to get by. Let's see if he can this time off that 4th turn.
Once again, off turn 4 and down past the flag stand. Weirman holds off young Gary Stuhler, and that is a major chore, Ken.
Right now, the white flag has been displayed. This will be the final time around the Speedway. Let's see if the veteran Weirman can hold off the youngster Gary Stuhler as they work through 3 and 4 for the final time. Off turn number 4, Weirman still got that outside line. I think he's going to win it.
Weirman now looking at the checkered flag, and there it is. Charlie Weirman will pick up the win. Stuhler will take 2nd. Larry Moore will finish 3rd, believe it or not, followed by Les Hare in the number 95, Al Shulver in the 66, and then it was the number 12 of Charlie Schaefer.
Dale Kerstetter in the 6 car, Alan Saggy and Don Lutz complete the field in heat number 3.
And we'll be back with heat race number 4 here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Okay, we're back in here at the Hagerstown Speedway for heat race number 4. And we'll go down over the starting lineup. On the poles, the number 1 VP of Buddy Armour, and alongside him is the number 4R of Al Richard.
Second row inside, starting 3rd in the 4 will be Ed Faree, and starting 4th in car number 3X, Bruce Horndusky.
Okay, making up the 3rd row inside, and that 5th starting spot will be the 72 of John Mason, and alongside him, the number 1C of Lynn Geisler back in here this week.
In row 4, inside 7th starting spot, we've got the 25 of Ernie Davis, outside the 55 of Tommy Myers, and going scratch in the 179, Brad Malcutt. Brad coming in here with an enclosed rig for the 179 this afternoon. Let's watch him in the back of the pack as the green flag waves on heat 4. Into turn number 1, it's the 1 VP of Buddy Armour who takes him on down the backstretch. Quickly, Ed Faree in the 4 is up into the runner-up spot. And a lot of action back in the pack as on the move we have Lynn Geisler also moving up. Buddy Armour will bring him off at turn 4 for lap 1.
Buddy Armour, your leader in the 1 VP, followed by the number 4 of Ed Faree. And remember, Ken, Faree has really been strong here at Hagerstown the last couple of weeks.
Well, we got a couple of 4s out there, and I believe that's actually Al Richards, John. That's my mistake. Richards has moved into second. At this point, Horndusky runs third in the 2, and here comes Geisler with a daring move to the inside, back in the pack, but Buddy Armour has got the front of the pack.
Keep our eye on Lynn Geisler in that number 1 as he audaciously follows the number 4 of Ed Faree through turns 1 and 2.
A lot of talented drivers back in the pack of the pack. John Racing Mason in the 72 trying to advance up front. Buddy Armour right now has things under control. A real log jam behind him, though, off turn 4. Armour continuing to show the way down into turn number 1 and 2 with Al Richards getting a fine ride in his first time out for 1987, running second. Horndusky continues to run in that 3rd spot with Faree and Geisler, your top 5 at this point.
We'll watch them as they come off turn number 4 now. We're about at the halfway mark in this 10-lap heat race. Everybody getting out of shape at the back of the pack. Watching the number 55 of Tom Myers. And Myers really out of shape there for momentarily. We got a good battle here for 3rd, Ken.
Right now it is for 3rd that we're watching, and that's Horndusky in the 3 car. Faree down on the inside in the 4, and John Mason right behind them in the 72. Kind of surprised by Lynn Geisler in the 1. He is off the pace here in this heat race. Geisler, one of the heavyweights in late model racing and a real threat. Anytime he shows up right now is off the pace, along with the Bobby Allen number 55 of Tommy Myers, both out of a qualifying spot.
Keeping an eye on Ed Faree as he audaciously moves into that 3rd position, maybe off turn number 4. He's challenging for it, Ken, but he doesn't quite have it. He continues to ride in that 4th spot.
I'll tell you, this Horndusky in the 3 car comes in with some beautiful equipment, and right now he's getting a fine ride. Horndusky running in the 3rd spot. Faree and Mason, Geisler, they're all right there. If you get out of shape, you're going to lose some positions here in this heat race as they're all bunched up, but they're all chasing Buddy Armour, who has things to himself at the front.
Al Richard continues to run in that 2nd position, but here comes Ed Faree now up the inside of the number 3X of Horndusky. Horndusky and the number 4 of Ed Faree really in a heated battle here, Ken.
They've been running side by side now for a couple of laps, and it's sort of holding up the rest of the guys back there. Al Richards is taking advantage. He's just staying there in that 2nd spot, and Armour's driving off.
Trouble in turn number 4 is the number 79 car. That car being driven by Brad Malkett. And he loses the handle in turn number 4, and we'll be back with the restart. Well, we're back in here at the Hagerstown